Music.
Excellent.
Hey, welcome to the show. The show is a show where we say show a lot, and it's all about show business. It can be our favorite episodes of things, but it's really about working in show business, how to make a living in this crazy business of show. I'm Jonathan. And if you're watching this on Facebook, you know who I am because you're my Facebook friend. But if you don't know my friend and co-host here, this is Leslie. How are you, Leslie?
Hello. Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm super excited to hear what you've brought to me today. I've known Leslie for years and years, and Leslie is normally the recipient of phone calls from me, sometimes way too late at night, where I'm just complaining about things that go on in this industry or people that still have jobs in this industry. And at one point, I just said, we ought to talk about this publicly. I don't know if
Yes.
that's a good or bad
We
idea.
said this is gold. Other people need to hear these these gripes, complaints, and also solutions to common, so show business problems.
Right, right, because they don't teach you a lot of this stuff in acting class. They don't teach
No.
you how to negotiate in acting class. They don't teach you what to say when your agent isn't doing the right thing for you. They don't teach you what to say when your agent is doing the right thing for you. Just the whole business side of this art form is sort of skipped over. And we'll talk about business issues, but we'll also talk about talent and creative issues, the good and the
Absolutely.
bad.
Yeah. I mean, even, being in this industry for, whatever, a decade that I'm going on, I can count several times that I've almost been scammed in this business where like I either, was auditioning for a job and especially in the early days, I didn't, you get excited about something and then they start asking you for money for something. Oh, that's a big red flag. Things like that where you could either fall into that trap and it could be detrimental, or if you're lucky, you recognize it. But if you don't know, sometimes people think, well, I should be paying an agent to, put send my stuff around. And it doesn't work that way. Don't ever do that. But some people think that that is the way that it's supposed to go. So
But what they
stuff like
don't
that.
realize is sometimes it's okay to pay a manager. That's okay if they're actually managing your business and you have a business, an acting business that
Right.
needs managing.
Management. Yeah. Right.
But if you don't, then you don't necessarily need the manager unless what you're paying for is their time to help you draft cover letters, put together a resume. Maybe that manager has relationships with casting directors and producers that they're reaching out on your behalf for. That's okay because they're managing you as opposed to an
Difference.
agent who's
Right.
actually like, aren't they like regulated or whatever, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And that's an agency relationship. So there are things that rules to follow in that sort of relationship. Oh, was that me? Did you hear
It
that?
was. I was just testing to make sure the Facebook audio
Oh,
works,
audio was
and it
working. Okay.
does. Hmm.
Mine is frozen. I have our Facebook. Oh no, there we are. Okay, never mind.
Your
We're
Facebook
good.
is frozen?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So, been on set at all this week?
Yes. So normally how this goes is, you'll bring up something that happened to you and maybe frustrated you, and then I'll say, I'll calm you down, so to speak. But I was on set recently, and a couple things, just just being around the block a few times, you get certain things raise flags, and so I got the call sheet for a commercial, and it was a very early call time, 7 a.m., which is not that early, but earlier than maybe some. And so when I saw was four talent going through hair and makeup, and the first shot was to take place at 7:45 a.m. And I'm like, hold up. Like, how are we going to get four people through hair and makeup? And the first scene was horseback riding. So like we've got to get into hair and makeup, into wardrobe, and we didn't bring any wardrobe, that was all provided, so we were still trying things on, and then on top of horses by set in 45 minutes, and I was like, this is not going to go well. I was like, first red flag of the day, and this is obviously, as talent, not my place at all to say anything. I just know, you just know that that's going to not work out. You're going to be running late. Things are going to get, it's going to be behind. You're going to be rushed along, which is fine.
Are you saying from arrival to shoot time was like 45 minutes, and that includes four people, four horses?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were on the schedule, and I think the reason why that it was like that, because we were on the schedule of the equestrian center. They had other rides scheduled for after our turn. So we really had to do that, but something's got to give. You can't put four people through hair and makeup. Maybe it's you arrive, hair and makeup ready, I don't know, or
Or maybe
I
hair
don't
and
know.
makeup is much earlier for each performer, right? That you can tier it out,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But maybe that's done in a van or it's done outside, so we're not yet paying rent or usage for the space yet or whatever.
Possibly, right. Or the place probably wasn't even open before 7, so we probably couldn't even get on site. It was just one of those moments where I'm like, oh, that's not going to happen. You could have 2 hours for four people to go through hair and makeup and still not have enough time, quite frankly. I mean, I've been there as well, where, everybody's kind of waiting around for that to be done. So it takes a while. And it doesn't mean that production didn't know what they were doing. They were all, it was fine. I was just like, oh, this might be a little bit of an unorganized day, or just be prepared to, either have to rush through some things. I mean, I hopped up on that horse. Quite frankly, I would have liked a little more time to get to know the horse before trotting out onto the beach. And it was a lovely morning. It was really fun. I did enjoy it, but I was a little scared. I would like to have like practiced a little bit on like how
This is the only show online where
to
you will hear people complaining about horseback riding
on the
at the
beach.
beach.
Now that I listen to it, it does sound quite
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
not complaining, just say.
Right, right,
And
right, right,
well,
right.
this is the other complaint I had, since we're going down that road anyway.
The horse was just mean.
Yeah, well, the horse was lovely. Well, there was no food. We had no coffee. We had
Not even
nothing.
carrots?
No. Well, there was a snack bag somewhere that I hadn't
Snack
seen. And
bags
so,
for the
like,
horses?
no, for the talent. I don't know. As talent, we get a little bit like, I don't know, I need something. I need to eat
Hmm.
something, especially with an early call time. So I was just like, okay, but I don't complain when I'm on set. I'm there to do a job, and we got the job done, and it was fine. But those are just like little production things. I'm like, oh, I probably would have, if I was doing that, I probably would have a couple of things different, but
Coffee,
yeah.
water,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
some like I always tell people who are doing their own productions, minimum is there should be a lunch break if it's an 8-hour day, and you should be providing lunch to people. And you know why that is, why sets are always catered. They don't want you to leave,
Leaving. Yes. Right.
right? So
Yeah.
okay, if
Sure.
we can't leave, then you got to bring it in, but don't charge the talent for their lunch,
Right.
okay? And then coffee, if you're going to have a morning shoot, even if it's not, there should always be coffee. I think that's just an American thing.
Thing.
Uh,
Yeah.
water, absolutely, and a bowl of individually wrapped mints. Hmm.
That's great.
And because you're going to be right there with people, you
Yeah.
want individually wrapped mints. You want a little, I call it sort of a toiletry tray, but maybe there's, those travel size deodorants or a toothbrush, things that maybe somebody forgot at
Yeah.
home, but can make all the difference in your shoot day. Have a little tray of those things out there,
Yeah.
and maybe some like fruit or a Red Bull or something, and then you're good. right? No one's
100%.
no one's saying we need caviar and spicy tuna rolls or whatever
Right. Well, I
sitting
said
there.
that, but no. You're absolutely right. And it always is a long day on set for everyone, production crew, everybody, talent. So having those little things, they do make such a huge difference.
Hmm.
Um, and so all in all, I had a great experience, but I was just those two things. I'm like, little
Wow.
mental note. Um, yeah, yeah.
Any other shoots, anything else go on in your week in terms of production? I know you said you had a couple
Um,
of things.
Well, that was those
It
two
was
things
those two
that
things
stick out in my
on the
mind. No
same
food.
shoot.
Well, the other thing is, well, this is the other thing, and this
Okay.
is an important thing to remember as well. In the early days, how do you handle, a shoot that goes overtime?
Mm.
You get paid overtime. That's how you handle it. I mean, we were asked to stay first a half an hour longer, then, an hour longer. And, we were several hours from home. And so it's overtime, and however you work that out with through your agent, if that's not spelled out beforehand, I'm just saying, don't work for free. Don't just say, oh,
Or, or
yeah, it's fine.
negotiate or inform your agent or the producer who's boots on the ground there. Look at your contract, right? If it's different than your contract that you have a copy
Yes.
of, then you can bring that up. But I say, look, I don't charge by the hour, I charge by the day, and I'll go 12 hours. Fine. That's built into the rate when
Yeah,
I'm doing my own, casting or submission or whatever. That's built
sure.
in. And I'll even say I'll do up to 2 days. As long as I've got accommodations between the 2 days, I don't mind if I have to come back a second day. It's not a big deal. My rate covers 2 days as well as one because it's not low.
Right.
But I'm not taking advantage of people. You pay this, I'm going to be with you to get this thing done till it's done. I'm not
Yeah.
going to charge you by the hour overtime. Now on a third day there's a slightly increased cost because I can't be taken advantage of either,
Right.
right? But
Right.
if you're in that situation and maybe you've not negotiated or your agent has already said it's this much money for the day, it's 8 hours. The best thing to do when you see that we're going to go over time is to call your agent,
Agent. Yeah. Great advice.
but tell your agent what you would like them to do.
Right.
Don't just say, looks like there's going to be overtime, bye, or text them overtime. There's going to be overtime. This is what I would like to make for this extra time. Because it,
Right.
it shouldn't be, in my opinion, it should not be just an even split of how much you've made each hour
Hour.
that
Right.
makes
And
up your
then,
day rate.
sure.
Especially if, maybe you do have to drive home. Well, now you're going to drive at night, or maybe you've got other
Other
concerns,
things. Right.
where there's more risk or there's more cost involved, or maybe you're now going to be stuck in traffic, which is going to make you late to something else. I think you're always not okay to. I think you're always allowed to tell production if they do not specify. I think you're okay to tell them, I can stay an extra maybe 10, 15 minutes, but after that, I have to jet.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
what if there's another shoot? What if you have to pick up your kids from a place? What if you got to make a flight? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, and I like for you when you have your day rate that's it's already included. I love that position because then you're not worried about it and you're fully there for the shoot and let's get every shot you want. And I mean,
Mhm.
I like to work that way too. I don't want to worry about an extra hour, this and that. But sometimes it's not spelled out. You got a gray area there. Well, yeah, we're going to be done around 2:30, and then here you are at 3:15, and you're not, they're still setting up the camera for the next shot. And you're like, okay, so just advocating for yourself, whether that's through your agent with very specific instructions like, yeah, this is what I feel this is worth, or talking to somebody else if you don't have an agent. We did not have an agent on that shoot, and so we had to work it out right there, and everybody was amenable to what we wanted, and we were fair for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes. It is business. You're working for a client, and uh, you are a team player, yes, but you are valued as well.
Now,
So,
on a union shoot,
oh
especially
yeah.
the crew, I can't remember what this shoot was. It was not recent. It was years and years and years ago, and it probably was in California when I did it. But it was a union shoot, and when they got to the time that they were slated to end, it was like they are literally clicking off the lights. Like it was, I have to set the camera down. Like I cannot do anything else until there's an agreement. And I was just like, well, I'm having fun. I'll keep going. They're like, shut up, kid. You know,
Quit it.
I was background, right?
Yes,
I
right. And
was the
you're probably so
background.
excited.
Right. I was the background of the
The
background,
background.
And I was like, I don't mind. They're like, shut up.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it's a job. It's also a hobby. It's a passion. It's an art, but it's a job. And I think certain considerations have to be made, especially when you're dealing with going over time. Now, I've also done shoots where an agent was involved and the producer has come up to us. And this was somewhat recent, maybe in the past 3 years or so. A producer came up to us, the talent, and said, we are going to run late. It's going to be like 3 hours late. We can involve your agent, or we can just what was it? Venmo you
Huh.
right now. We'll Venmo you each. It was like $300, and we'll just call that even. If you want to pay your agent a commission on that, do it. If not, fine. But that's going to be a lot easier for us, and we can just keep going. And me and the other talent, we were like, yes, yes, please, we're good. And we stuck through it, and we did it, and it turned out great.
Yeah.
It removed all the stress of having
Yes.
to take even more time to email or call
Yeah.
agent, and that agent was crappy anyway. It's the one that you're thinking of. It's that one. Uh, uh, but
Oh,
but it was just like it was cool to have them come up to us and just be honest and say, we're going to compensate you. Please don't leave. We were like, leave. We're not going anywhere. Like
right.
we didn't make any plans today. We knew this was going to be a full day. Actually,
Yeah.
it was a full 2 days actually.
Yeah. And
Um,
generally being on set is fun. It's a great time and you're usually
right.
having a good time. You're not thinking about like, oh yeah, we're gonna, I have to now negotiate more money. You want to be there, you want to perform, you want to do all those things, but it's important that you just account for your time. Um, and oh, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. It'll come back.
Well,
It'll come back.
okay. So interrupt me if it
Yeah.
if it comes back. We were
Okay.
talking about food and snacks a little bit earlier. There's one
Yes.
thing I do not understand. Why, when there's catering on a big shoot, why is it always something that would make you fall asleep if you ate it at home? Like, why would you have like roast carved turkey and mashed potatoes as the lunch or the dinner break, on a film shoot? Why would you
just
do that?
just to test you. That's why.
But you know
Just
what
to
I
make sure
mean?
you're really interested. Yeah,
I did one shoot. Beef stroganoff was
that's
the
so great.
main course. And don't get me wrong, I love beef stroganoff, but not during a lunch break of a full 8 hour, actually 9 hour shoot where I'm going to be on my feet in the sun because it was
Yeah,
outside, walk like, what are you thinking? I don't eat lunch on shoots. Normally, what I do is I will take the to-go box that a lot of the commercials
yeah,
order now, as opposed to like a catering company where they're scooping stuff. I'll take the sandwich box from whatever restaurant, I'll put it in the fridge, and I take it with me, and I eat it in the
on
car
the
on the
way
way
home,
home
I do the same
from the
thing.
shoot.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and it's the best. That's the best food. It's like when you're done and you're like, huh,
Right. It's
and
like,
you're
wait,
starving.
who
Yeah.
can eat in the middle of a shoot day like that, let alone eat, three meat lasagna?
It's a little snack for you.
Right,
Yeah, well,
right.
that's why you have to have the coffee too, because 3 o'clock rolls around and you're falling asleep.
Oh,
Like, I need to
absolutely.
stay awake here. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know. And after a lunch like that, your wardrobe doesn't even fit the same way as it did, the first 4 hours of the shoot. So,
Right.
yeah,
And do you drink energy drinks at all?
I do not. No,
You don't.
no.
Like
Do you?
period or even on set?
I don't ever really. I think it would make me too wired.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I only drink them on set because I know that I'm going to put a lot more into working that day than I normally do, and it could catch up with me before I know it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Sorry, my dog is barking. Sorry, hang
Can't
on.
hear it at all. Can't hear it all.
Oh, okay, good. Yes, I do know what you mean. Well, you're on day. Even when you're not
Exactly.
on, you're on.
And when you're on a film shoot or a commercial shoot, because you love the work and because you're constantly, like you just said, you're thinking about something that is crucial, I think, almost every single moment. So to be that fully engaged for a long period of time, I feel like a Red Bull every now and then
Does you good.
yeah, it just pushes me a little bit to that next, uh, to maintain what I want to be, as
Interesting.
opposed to like, yawn. Like I,
Yeah.
I try not to do that on set because then it makes me look like I'm impatient or something. And I very well may be impatient, but I don't want them to know that,
Right. Yeah.
and I don't want my work to suffer from that because 3 months, 6 months, a year later, when somebody sees that footage, they're not gonna know. They're not gonna care how difficult the day was, how long the day was, what they had or didn't have for catering or what have you.
Right.
They're just gonna know if that person did a good job or not, if it's a good ad or not. So making sure that you do what you got to do before the shoot, have your coffee, do whatever, making sure that during the shoot you set yourself up to really take care of yourself.
Yes.
Always have water around, always have little,
Yes.
what do they call it thing, banaka or whatever, or
Yeah.
mints. Always be ready so that you can stay your best all day.
Yeah. Yes. Stand in the shade. I mean, little things like that. Get out of the sun when you can. Sit if you can. All of that so that you're ready to go. That is really good advice too, because you have a tendency to forget that when you're on set and not take care of yourself
Hmm.
or not get that bit of fuel that you might need, whether that's a drink or a little snack or something. So and that's why that's the first when I first started to go on set, I was like, wow, you really get treated like royalty. But there's a reason for it because you need to be at your best. You do. That's why they hired you. So it makes sense that they would want you to be comfortable. So
There are
when
some shoots that yeah, you're treated like royalty, and others where it's not so much that.
so much. That was the beauty of kind of in the area that we worked for a long time too, because you'd book something where you're like on top of the world, and then the next day you're an extra, and you're like, how did I
Yep,
sink so low?
yep, yep,
And
yep.
but that's how I made my career work as a full-time on-camera talent. I'd take the good ones and they'd take the ones that I knew were going to be a long day, not great pay, but then I'd use that time to meet people and that's where people give you a tip about an agent or something else that you're like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, that's why I took this job so that I can meet that person. And, and then something good will come of that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's something that you can use to promote your business as a talent. I always tell people take pictures, take video, but not where you're not supposed to.
yeah,
But the video can have the same effect if you're You're in the car, you're getting out of the car in the morning, you're walking to check in. Hey, everybody, go into check in now, shooting a commercial, wish me luck. Something like that. A working actor has to be working. That's one way to show that you're working,
Right. Right.
or on the lunch break, you can take a picture of your beef stroganoff or or whatever. Um, but without breaking any rules, even the stupid rules, without breaking them, making sure that you're promoting yourself. And it's okay to accept a job that's not going to pay you so well when you know that you can use that to build your online presence or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, or practice, whatever, it's
Or
always,
practice,
you're
right?
always kind of learning, even just being around if you're not the main hero in the ad, but you're still on set, you're learning things, you're
Absolutely.
doing it.
And
Mhm.
and do yourself a favor and have like a salad for lunch. Have something light if you're going to eat. Don't be the one that a couple hours later there's an issue. If you know what I
Yes.
mean, okay?
No, that's not what even though I'm always like, ooh, they have cookies, ooh, they have cupcakes, ooh, I want everything, but you're
Cookies and
absolutely right.
cupcakes, fine, but normally on these shoots, it's
Don't eat
not
the
like
enchiladas, what you're saying.
right, right. Because unless you're, the principal with your own trailer and your own green room and dressing room, which sometimes happens, but unless you're
Sometimes.
that, it's a shared facility, you know? And don't be that person. Don't be it. Because we will remember you
Oh,
forever.
oh gosh. And on that note,
We try to do this on Thursdays, I think, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, we've been pretty consistent with Thursday.
You know what we have,
Yeah,
except for that 6 month
right. The
no
gap.
show period.
Right. We missed that 6 month period, but other than that, it's been pretty consistent.
Every 6 months we've got one great show for you.
And it's on a Thursday, so
And it's